I'm going to give some definitions, some words here that you'll hear me use in talking about this. So a definition of probability. Probability, it's a measure of the likelihood of a certain thing happening. So it is, I'll just say it's a number that measures the likelihood of a certain thing happening. And a probability, the number is going to be between 0 and 1 inclusive. The number will be between 0 and 1 inclusive. The word inclusive means it can include the 0 and it can include the 1. It can include 0 and it can include 1. Those are the only two integers that it could possibly be. Some of the problems, they say give an integer or a fraction. Well, if it's an integer, it's going to be one of those two. So when I think about fractions or decimals or percents, let me write that. The number can be a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. And you have to read the directions real careful to see if they want you to give the fraction, the decimal, or the percent. If they want a fraction, they want it reduced. So here's an example. I might have the fraction 3/4. Maybe the probability of some event is 3/4. Maybe the probability that maybe they want it as a decimal. And if they do, I would have to write 3/4 as a decimal. So I'd take out my calculator, do 3 divided by 4, 0.75. 0.75 is the same as just 0.75. I'll write them both. And sometimes they'll say give it as a percent. How do I change 0.75 to a percent? Move it 2 places to the right and write 75%. Now suppose you've put in a problem into your calculator and you got the decimal and they wanted a fraction. So suppose that you'd gotten something like 0.86. And I need to change that to a fraction. Well, what you can do, one thing is you could use your calculator and put in 0.86. And then I can look at it. There is a key that will change a fraction to a decimal and decimal to fraction. Let me try to zoom in, and it's not showing up too well on this calculator. I'm trying to tilt it just right. Here it is, right here. F, arrow D. That will change from fraction to decimal or decimal to fraction. So to get that, I have my decimal in there. I'll do second. That's the probability key. And it shows this 0.86, F, arrow D, press equals. And there's my fraction for this problem, 43/50.